Welcome back. You're tuned into the Foxworth Theory, and I'm your host, Eugenia Foxworth. This week, our guest is young philanthropist Simone Gordon, founder and CEO of the Black Fairy Godmother Foundation. Welcome back, Simone.
Thank you for having me back.
When we left off, we were discussing the work that the foundation had done to help families during the first year of COVID, thus raising over $250,000. What did the monies go towards?
The emergency assistance funds went directly towards emergency housing. It went towards emergency food assistance. It also went towards a lot of individuals who were out of work and needed to pay rent. A lot of people do not know that we help marginalized communities across the U.S., but for some apparent reason in the South, a lot of marginalized communities do not have a lot of resources, so they were in dying need. We were operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop getting sleep, and at times we weren't able to have breaks, including myself. So when everything was going virtual, not only was I doing virtual schooling, also my team was doing virtual at home, working their 9 to 5 and still working the foundation. So that's where all of the funding went to: emergency food assistance through Instacart and Walmart. We also had emergency housing because there were many people who were homeless during the pandemic, many people who were getting evicted, and there were also some, a lot of individuals who needed medicine. They couldn't afford their medicine because we have some senior citizens who went back to work and who had chronic illnesses, including cancer, and they were unable to get their medical supplies because of the fact that everything stopped during the pandemic.
Mm. I am really in awe, and I did look at your videos. I did follow you, but to really hear the words has a major impact. And like, I'm grateful to
Thank you.
you. Now, your organization has received grants and funding from many people, such as Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. At the same time, you've paid it forward thanks to your annual event, which I'm sorry I was unable to go to. The Purple Diamond Awards. What takes place during that event? And who have you honored in the past?
The Purple Diamond Awards is a award ceremony that recognizes difference makers that are making a difference in marginalized communities. However, their efforts are not being recognized. I decided to start that award show in 2019 because there were many nonprofit organizations who were getting their hands and feet wet, and they were saying, "Hey, where's my plaque? Where's my clap? Where's my cup of wine or my cup of champagne?" So I decided to say every year we need to come together and say, thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for your leadership in the community. We have honored Chrissy Monroe, who is very, very strong with helping individuals with domestic violence. We have honored the Rain Foundation. They are a big nonprofit that service the LGBT community in New Jersey. We have honored also Carol Minaj, and that's Nicki Minaj's mother, our first annual. There's so many that we have honored to come together for all the efforts that they're doing in the community, and they do it selfless. They don't ask for anything back in return. So we want politicians to understand that yes, we have big nonprofits that you give your big cups and your big accolades to, but what about our neighbors, the mom and pop shops, or some of our church members who are actually taking money out of their own pockets and setting the foundation for the next generation? So that's what the the Purple Diamond Awards is about. And what we do is we honor domestic violence victims that we assisted within our foundation. We dress them up and also honor them for their efforts. And all of the funding goes to them for their education or anything that they want to use towards in the future.
Well, they say small businesses are the back of our economy, and small organizations, whether it's one person, two people, or more, are major players when it comes to this because you don't have a tax write off and you're giving back. And that is amazing. Christy Monroe, I know her history as well. And kudos to you. Now, 2021 was quite a year for the foundation. Okay, what other accomplishments were achieved?
We have assisted, let's go back. I was also a Webby Achievement Award winner in 2022 for all of my efforts with the pandemic. I received awards with the Tory Burch Foundation. We assisted 180 families across the U.S. and housed them. We also provided 522 families, marginalized families across the U.S., with the Christmas of their choice. That's not kids, but 522 families across the U.S. We did 777 Instacart and Walmart orders of food, toiletries, and medical supplies that was supplied across the U.S. as well. So those are the major accomplishments. We also awarded 20 scholarships during Mother's Day to women who wanted to go back to school because of the fact that they were single mothers and they weren't able to. Out of the 20 women, 16 have already obtained a trade a or a certificate of their choice, and we have the other women who are still in community college. And also, one of the mothers is currently a student at Spelman College after she graduated out of community college years ago. And she went back and went ahead and enrolled into Spelman College. And we raised a lot of funds on our platform for her. So, kudos to the 20 women that we assisted getting their education.
Yes, absolutely. Education is more important than money. If you have an education, there's nothing that can stop you. Now, what's in store for the future with the Black Fairy Godmother Foundation?
What's going on in the future is we are working on opening up at least 4 chapters across America. Basically, the chapters is going to have it to where we're able to be face to face with the families, and they're able to come in and we're able to guide them and provide them the resources that they needed. We are looking into California. We are looking into Missouri, Louisiana, and Maryland, where there are limited resources for marginalized families who needs assistance. My dream in the future, in the next 2 years or so, is to open a transitional house for families in need and try to have them at the house 90 days to 6 months, so that we're not just having them just housed at the shelter. We're going to lead them every step of the way towards stability so that they won't go back to being in emergency mode or homeless again. We want to give them tools. And that's the beauty of just being there for Black and brown marginalized women, is giving them stability so that they can be on their own and they won't have to feel like they have to need a partner in order to succeed.
And that's social, it's sort of like a socialization to give them the courage and the tools to go out. As you said earlier, mental abuse is more. I can't say it's crueler than physical abuse,
Absolutely.
and yeah, so that is really that's commendable. So now tell me, how can everyone follow you on social media and support the foundation?
Everyone can go to our website at www.theblackfairygodmother.org, or they can go to our social media channels on IG, The Black Fairy Godmother Official, Facebook, The Black Fairy Godmother Foundation, and Twitter, The Black Fairy Godmother G1.
That is great. Now, in your when we began the show, there was a picture of you being commended by a local, not local, by a television personality that I have, I watch and I follow, and I see that she is one of your supporters.
Kelly Clarkson, yes.
Of course. I was waiting for you to say Kelly Clarkson. I watched her when she was on America's Got Talent. Then I watch her now. I think and I follow her history. I mean, follow her around, not her history. So to get supporters like that, we have a little more time? How did she find you?
Well, we were doing the Christmas wish list angels, and that was in 2020, and that was during the pandemic, and some of the followers were tagging celebrities to buy gifts for kids. So Kelly Clarkson made a fake page and called herself Kelly something, and she direct messaged me and said, well, how many kids are left, because I want to buy gifts? And I said, we have 10 kids left, give me their list. And she was buying all the lists, and I said, wait, this is kind of spooky. So I asked, I said, are you sure you're buying all these gifts? I don't want any gifts canceled out. And she said, no, I'm buying all the gifts. Later on, my publicist got the email that it was Kelly Clarkson, and she wanted me on her show, and the NBC producers connected us all. So that's how that started.
Okay, because I was wondering, I'm saying that is pretty amazing. And people are out here, but as I said before, it's the little people that help a lot. There are lots of large people that help, but it's the little people. It's like the sand on the beach. It takes a lot of grains of sand to make the beach, and it's those grains of people that pull it together. So that was my curious nature, just to say how. And so that is amazing. And you mentioned California. I spend a lot of time there. People aren't aware. Their perception of homeless, their perception of people not having the wherewithal. All you have to do is go to California, go to Los Angeles. You
Absolutely.
have young white kids. You have pup tents. They're like little bubbles, which you're aware of, that they're putting in neighborhoods where houses are being sold. That is in San Francisco. Bubbles with in front of houses that are selling for millions of dollars. I mean, we are in a crisis and people aren't aware of it. LA, I remember the panhandlers. I was like, hmm, that guy looks like the guy that ripped me off at the US Open by selling me a ticket. But it's not. These are people, they come in all shapes, sizes, ages, ethnicities. And I just say blessings to you for helping everyone. And I guess people that are watching you now, eyes are wide open, and hopefully that this podcast will bring your clients, your friends, your volunteers more so you could get more than 2 hours sleep. You don't look like a vampire. You look like a lovely lady. So I really, I really congratulate you and I'm grateful and thank you for coming on the show, Simone Gordon. And I thank our viewers and listeners for tuning in. The Foxworth airs every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Foxworth Theory Network. And thank you.